Welcome back to Tokenization 101. In our last episode, I introduced you to the idea of tokenization and why it's becoming such an important concept in how we think about ownership, finance, and access. But today we're going deeper. We're going to answer the question, what is tokenization really? Not just the definition, but the mechanics, the purpose, and how it works in the real world. Let's begin with a simple analogy. Imagine you own a holiday home by the ocean. Instead of renting or selling it to one person, you decide to divide its ownership into 100 equal parts. Each part is worth 1% of the home, and each part gives the holder the right to a portion of rental income or resale value. Now, imagine those 100 ownership parts exist not on paper, but as digital tokens, each recorded and stored securely on a blockchain, meaning no middlemen, no banks, no need for someone to physically verify ownership. That's tokenization, the process of converting rights to a real-world asset into a digital token that can be securely tracked, transferred, and managed, entirely online. Each token can represent ownership income rights, voting power, access rights, or other entitlements depending on how it's structured. And here's the key, these tokens are programmable. They can include built-in rules, like when they can be traded, who can hold them, or how income is distributed. Let's compare this to the traditional world. Say you want to buy a share in a private company. You'd probably sign lengthy legal documents, go through intermediaries like brokers or lawyers, wait days or weeks to process the transaction, and you might need to invest large minimum amounts. Now imagine that same ownership is tokenized. You could purchase it directly from anywhere in the world using your phone or laptop, and the transaction could settle in seconds. Tokenization removes friction, lowers barriers, and opens up access. It allows fractional ownership in things that were previously out of reach, like real estate, fine art, farmland, or infrastructure projects. It's not about replacing existing systems, it's about enhancing them, making ownership more inclusive, more flexible, and more transparent. The answer is almost anything with real-world value. Tangible assets. Gold, property, livestock, cars, buildings. Intangible assets, music royalties, carbon credits, equity, data future output, a harvest of wheat, projected cash flows, energy production. One token might represent a gram of gold. Another might represent a share of revenue from a solar power plant. In each case, the token becomes a digital mirror of the underlying asset, backed by real-world contracts, custody, and infrastructure. Let's walk through a real-world use case. A developer builds a co-living apartment complex in a growing urban area. Instead of financing the project through a single investor or bank, they tokenize the equity in the building, creating 10,000 tokens. Each token represents 0.01% ownership in the asset, and holders receive a share of rental income each month. Now imagine, someone in Singapore owns 100 tokens. Someone in Kenya owns 25. A small investment group in Colombia owns 3,000. All of this is recorded transparently on a blockchain, updated in real time, and secured through smart contracts. This means no need for legal paperwork every time a token is traded, no manual rent distribution, it's automated, no regional investment restrictions, capital becomes borderless. Tokenization empowers global participation in local value. Before we wrap up, let's be clear about a few things. Tokenization is not just crypto in disguise. It's not speculative trading, meme coins, or pump-and-dump schemes. At its core, tokenization is about anchoring digital assets to real-world value, with proof, custody, and accountability. It works best when paired with compliance, legal infrastructure, and third-party verification, and when it gives more people fair access to real assets. Tokenization is solving problems that have existed for decades. Assets that are hard to divide, markets with limited access, transactions with too many intermediaries. Capital trapped in systems built for yesterday's economy. By turning ownership into transparent, programmable digital units, tokenization is opening new possibilities for investors, entrepreneurs, institutions, and communities alike. So now you know, tokenization is the bridge between the physical and digital, turning real value into a format that's more usable, more shareable, and more fair. In the next episode, we'll explore why this shift is so disruptive and what makes tokenization fundamentally different from the systems we've used for centuries. I'll see you there.